Welcome in everyone to Flow and Charts. If you're new to this, we just kind of look at unusual flow, kind of go through Periscope, market tide, just take flow requests, whatever you kind of got, charting if we get to that. Otherwise, yeah, we'll start with the market tide here because we will be getting an update here in a minute or so. But yeah, pretty clean bearish market tide here, not too much to analyze on this. A lot of our big names contributing to the ask side premiums here on the puts. Out of the money puts and all put premiums are ask side. Pretty close in tandem there. Calls are dropping about, again, roughly the same kind of pace there. That net volume is continuing to grow negative. This is just a very clean bearish read on the market tide. Can't don't have to really dig too much into that. I mean, calls have just been dropping all day there. Yeah, and I mean, you got one name, but 1.5, we'll say here, contributing to call premiums, which are absolutely non-existent here. Periscope right now, I'm just keeping an eye. Oh, we got a little pop there. I'm keeping an eye on this 7350 here at that update. I want to see what it does there, but that thing absolutely popped pretty quick there. So I'm curious to see what happens with that negative gamma here. I want to see if it drops a little bit. That must have. I wonder if that was a news candle or anything. Oh, let's see. 3 minutes ago, so that shouldn't have been that. Air defense is activated near the Strait of Hormuz. Interesting. We'll see. Oh, we got a big pop there. That's very funny there. Um, yeah, that was a crazy candle there. I want to see what this update looks like here in our minute here. Just waiting for this to update here. Yeah, as of right now, if I was looking to, potentially scalp this, that negative gamma here would have been my resistance. But man, that candle was a big candle there. Curious to see what this update looks like. Very curious here. And you like how I was talking about I mean, call premiums didn't even really flinch on that there. That thing is just popping there. And we don't have any positive gamma up here. Okay, so there's our update there. So let's kind of look. So they did kind of move that. 7335 grew a little bit. They're just hammering 0 DTE calls though right now on SPX. I don't think I would want to short this. How did tomorrow's expiration kind of flip, if any? Yeah, I mean, there's not a lot of positive gamma up there. I'm wondering if we potentially, let's just see. Yeah, I mean, there's not really a spot to enter to go short either. I'm kind of gonna be hands off, I think, right now, because we're kind of in no man's land here. Can wait for the next update as well too. But yeah, I mean, that was a big candle there. Let's see, no attack on it. Okay, so it was a big news candle there. Cool. I saw that second one, the air defenses one, but I did not get the first tweet there at all. Interesting. Very interesting. Well, all that positioning is still technically down, so I mean, barring what that update looks like, yeah, I mean, call premiums, man. If we weren't getting all these calls hitting here, I wouldn't mind taking a small little gamble, but man, those are pretty fresh. Let's hop over to the flow. We'll give it a couple minutes there to get an update. Yeah, I mean, that market tide barely flinched on that, so that's always interesting there to me. Qualcomm calls coming in here weekly, 522 to 25 calls to see if we can find something. Have to check open interest on this one. You got 805 candles coming in there, followed by 803. So very similar timing. Now those news things are hitting my phone right. Let's see. No tag on Iran tomorrow. The one that you sent over. Oh, let's see. Prepared to attack if no deal with Iran. So it's just back and forth, back and forth. Like, pick a direction. Yeah, the Qualcomm's here. Whoops, didn't try to pop out of there. Yeah, I would want to double check that open interest on here. Very similar sized candles here. We did have some from Friday carry over there too. Doesn't look like it's anything related specifically to that. I would just double check open interest on those. There could be a quick in and out. Who knows? 150, 160. I mean, you never know. You never know. Um, 618, 67, 5 puts. So these are the ones that we're gonna look at right when the stream kind of started here. Let's take a peek at these quick. These could have some interest here. So that IV kind of drops when they first come in, but that IV's increasing. These look pretty good minus that bid-ask spread there. I'm going to throw these in the channel. They're 31 days, so these don't overlap earnings. Let me just pop these in here. Yeah, these look good. Just that spread is a little wide here, so let's just do this. Let me pop this in here. And as you can tell, I did not have time to do my channel renaming this weekend. I think I'm going to end up doing that over Memorial Day weekend when I have that extra day. I was dying from allergies all weekend again there. So I was like, yeah, this is not going to happen today. Oops, can't type. Alright, pop that in there. Yeah, no, I have a rider. I don't have to push mow the thing. It's not too bad. Not too bad. Alright, so we are kind of rejecting here. I might take I'm going to take a quick little short here. Let me, where did my MES here? Let me just pop this in here quick. Maybe. We're running. No, I'm not going to be able to chase it, I don't think. I don't know. I'm going to take it off that 200 here. I'm just going to take a very small scalp. Oops. Okay, filled. Alright, we're just going to watch this here. I'm just quick little scalpy poo. Maybe I'm going to take it off here if we get down to that 150 day and 20 day. Otherwise, I'm just going to be very, very cautious there. Because of that negative gamma. I do like seeing that because they are short calls there, so they would like to see that finish below there for market makers. Alright, we're seeing a little green. I just wanted to kind of see if I can test my EMA. It doesn't seem like it wants. I wanted a quick one here. Oh, we're gonna just keep watching. Yeah, it's fun unless you're the one doing it. I mean, it is a prop account, so I mean, it's not a huge deal, but just keep following this down. We'll see how this moves. I mean, I'm just looking for a test here at the EMAs here. And I'm taking it off. There we go. Look at that. Quick little 2-minute scalp. I mean, that was 20 bucks in 30 seconds there. I could have probably held it a little longer. I just don't like trading this late in the day typically. I mean, that was a very, very quick trade. I think, and if you guys were hanging out during Whale Watch, I did end the show. I ended the show green, or ended the day green here on here. So I will take that there. Yeah, we'll see if it tests the EMA there. I just kind of didn't like all that call stuff coming in there, and would have got a little better entry there if I would have got it in time. But this would be my rejection spot right now, that 73.80 there. This is going to act as resistance right now with them being short the calls. So would not surprise me. I mean, there's short calls down there at 73.60 too. So I mean, they're kind of targeting lower. It's more so we'll see what happens though. We'll see what happens on that next update. But let's do some tied in. If you guys got any flow reads or anything you want me to take a peek at, feel free to let me know. I do want to actually, since we are kind of let's look at these pins. Kind of long dated though. And I was gonna say it looked interesting, but little would want to verify that open interest because you got 2100 here followed by 1000. So I would probably want to wait on that. We can yeah, we can look up TSM here. Let's do a little gander at TSM. Let's do a little look at TSM here. So TSM, so just kind of looking over my premiums right now. So it's bid side call action here, but price is kind of in line here. Put's not really seeing a ton of ask side premium here. Only kind of big day of ask side premium was Friday, and most of that dropped off end of day. Anything for opening trades? Maybe these 618 400 puts. Not the best looking tape though. You got 933, another 800 there. Definitely had to check that. Open interest, and it looks like could be related to some of the prior volume as well. So a little trickier on that one. Let's do check that 618. Oh no, let's do 618 340. So 14% out of the money. These are already up pretty nicely against some open interest previously on these. Could potentially be related to something back here. It doesn't look like it, just kind of based off that candle. I mean, got 2,000 there, and none of that other stuff really looked like it was attached to that. I would say this is probably a new trade. Would just want to double check that open interest. Let's just go through this and look. Move this. So this is kind of that first trade, so 48.61. Yeah, not really too much there. I would assume this bid side stuff coming in after about 19 seconds later, I would probably assume that could potentially be related to that. No way of knowing, but just kind of based off that timestamp, that is what looks kind of unusual to me. So I'm just gonna assume it potentially could be. Not the cleanest read on this here. Let's see what else we got for TSM. What else do we got for TSM? Anything of interest here? So the 12-18 440 call. These just kind of came in big multi-leg here, so it is that, and it's a 3-legger there. I don't like to touch that. So that is the 440. So there was another 12-18. So that 520 is also part of that multi-leg, I believe it was. We'll just do a double check here. Yep, so your 12-18 teens there. Alright, let's see if I can find something single leg for ya. 522 415. Yeah, looks like whatever that is, maybe kind of getting out. Nothing really clear directionality-wise in this one. Man, there really is not much. Yeah, just nothing there. Could be, I mean, 400 contracts. Let's just see how that previous kind of looks there. High multi-leg on it, though. I bet you this is. Got our multi-leg in it. Yes, it does. Yes, it does. And it looks like rolled them up there. So I wonder if maybe they are short those calls and they're rolling up the strike, possibly. Hard to know. Hard to know. That is why I stay away from multi-legs. Alright, let's see if we can find anything else within TSM, though. How's our gamma look? And yeah, they added in this cool new heat chart here, so they have little notes and all that's in here too, so I mean they make it pretty easy there. So your absolute gamma here is at 420, so this is your highest gamma point. This would act as, I believe, if you look at it, I think it'll say it's a magnet pinning, so that 420 is kind of your highest magnet level right now, and you can also see that if we go over here. So here's your big 420 there. So you can see that they're just kind of going off the net gamma there. So you can see that net gamma is your highest absolute gamma there. So that is 420. So that could act as a magnet there. And your put wall, so that's going to act as your support in here. So that put wall's down at 370 there. 370 there. So that could act as your support in here. So that put wall is down at 370 there. And your put wall, so that's going to act as your support in here. So that put wall is down at 370 there. 370 there. So that put wall is down at 370 there. And your put wall is down at 370 there. you're almost more in the middle here, so it's not a super clean direction. If I was to look for maybe an entry here, maybe if you can see a 380, possibly 380 could be a possible decent entry there. How do our expirations look? So that 618 has the highest net gamma overall, and it is on the call side. So let's just look at 618 here, quick 618. So it is on that 370 strike, so it's dead. And then we got the 400 there, so it is kind of favoring up. I like that absolute gamma or that call wall kind of being up there. So again, it acts like a magnet, but once it gets up there, market makers are going to sell into that strength. So I it's a tough spot because you're right in the middle there. I'd probably wait for a discount there unless you're okay with a little drawdown. I'd be kind of eyeing that 380 spot possibly for a bounce. I mean, to get you about a $13 discount. If you're brave, that 392. But let's see. I want to see what else it shows in here as well. I just want to kind of look this spot over there. So acceleration zone. So it's can potentially yeah. I don't blame you. I don't blame you. That acceleration zone too. I mean, it's kind of down there. If we get to that green there, so that put wall is your support there. I'm going to take these off so you can kind of see where it is. So that's where your big support level is there. And then you see that call wall. So you can see they're selling into that strength there. We get deep into the really like deep yellow there. You can see how price is kind of dropping off there because market makers, while it pulls it up to it, they sell into that strength there too. Absolute gamma at 420 and your acceleration zone. I do like kind of looking at this cool stuff, and they just added this in over Saturday, so I'm still kind of getting used to it though. But so yeah, I mean it's 6%, that put wall 6% down. Let's see. Yeah, just kind of look through everything in here. It's a cool little area, that 31 expiration. So we're looking at that 618. So yeah, it's that 370 that we saw there. So yeah, I mean I would almost wait. Ooh, I didn't want to double click that one there. I would maybe wait and see if you can get a small potential pullback kind of to where we are. I almost like this view a little bit better. It's a little easier to read. Because that spot's right in the middle here. I'd like to see it, or at least that put wall move. So this all will get updated every morning. Feel free to check that. This is all derived from open interest, so just it will change. But like if that put wall moved up to, I mean, I'd start to be a little more comfortable. But yeah, as of right now, I'm not really seeing anything flow wise so far. But yeah, good little example there. Let's do the one that Lauro dropped in here. The 618.59 call. Clear opener here. 2,900 contracts coming in at the time. No open interest. 100% on an opener. 3% out of the money. Nice and close to the money. Nothing to argue on with that. Let's take a peek at our tape now. See how this looks in here. Oops. Alright, so it looks like got a little before it here. Okay, so that 10 is the first on the day. Okay. Alright, let's see how it looks here. So you got 10 and followed by the 19. So IV is coming up here. So a little drop there. So we're 1 cent below the ask. Comes back up. Spot's filling up the ask here. Another little small drop there. Comes back up. A little drop at the bid there. I would probably you can just, I mean, it's 20 contracts, and then where's the other kind of drop there? 25 contracts. How much is this entire thing? So 2,900. So I mean, 25 contracts out of that isn't a significant chunk. Just trying to kind of look at that overall tape. I probably lean buy to open on these. I'm just hesitating with the kind of two small drops in there and that bid ask widening there a little bit at the end there. So it is filling at that previous ask. Let's just see if there's anything else on this one. So those came in at 850, 855. So it looks like that is your spike there. So what is causing these puts to spike though? Let's take a peek at that, and it looks like it's that 12, 17, 57 half put there. Now this is obviously longer term here, so I'm gonna assume they're probably not looking for a move this week. I mean, these are over a year and a half out. Looks like just probably some small ads there. I wouldn't be too worried about that. A 618.59 call. Let's just see some previous here. So it does get a lot of ask side call premium, it looks like. Let's look at our gamma here. So let's flip it here, and then we'll go back to the heat map. So yeah, good positive. I mean, lots of positive gamma in here. Let's see. Call walls at 62.5 here. We don't have a put wall. There's not enough data in there really to give us one. I would almost lean with that call wall being up at 62.50 and we're trading at 57.30 here. You are kind of on a good support spot here. I would not mind. I kind of like that flow now that I'm seeing that call wall up there. I would probably lean those or buy to open there. Let's see if we got anything else in here. Just kind of trying to eyeball as much stuff as I can here. Let's see. So absolute gamma is 62.50, so that is going to act like a magnet here, and we are in. So this doesn't have a put wall again, like we were kind of talking about there. So your acceleration zone's about 1/3% above. Acceleration is about 4. So call, yeah. I mean, yeah. There is a lot of that. I mean, there's kind of a lot of call wall premium up there too. Looks like, yeah, so that 39, that's 6. Let's go back. 618 was it? Not that one. I'm just kind of trying to look in here. I gotta figure out this table a little bit here. I haven't really dug too deep into that. I was excited about the colors there, but yeah, I mean with that, I kind of like that setup with where we are there. I mean, you're seeing positive gamma days come in. You're sitting right on that 57.5 strike. Your net gamma is favoring the upside here overall. Your call wall's at 62.50. It's going to be your biggest magnet again. Some net gamma on that 55 strike. I just want to kind of look at this one more time here, and I believe that 55. Oops. If I could click, that would help. So okay, 55 strike. Let's look at this here because there is some open interest on this one. It's at 55. Oops. Yeah, nothing really on that there. Let's just kind of look in here. Yeah, I mean most of that highest open interest is favoring the call side too. I'd say I like these here, the 618.59s. They're just that IV drop there at the end. It was just a teeny bit, not enough to kind of sway me either way. I would lean buy to open on those, kind of combining that with the other data points in here. Let's see, we'll go back to gamma one more time. Yeah, I mean, all your positive gamma is up from where we're sitting there. I mean, it looks pretty favorable for a bounce there. I would just keep an eye on this 57.5 level here and kind of keep an eye up there. as well. Yeah, they like that 821 expiration followed by that 115. I would probably buy time on something like this. What is this, 618? Yeah, the 618's not bad. If you're tailing that well, I wouldn't go a closer expiration. I would at least look at that 618 and potentially go out from there. But yeah, good little find there. Good find there. All right, so how about the Google 430 calls? So let's do. We are dropping. I should have held those puts a little bit longer, shouldn't I? But you can see. Let's just pop over here before I pop on Google here. You can see how this acted as that resistance there. So we came into it, kind of chopped. The news candle obviously can't do anything about that. But yeah, we rejected there and came back up, tested, rejected again. They're short those calls. Market makers want those to expire out of the money, so the only way for that to happen is for us to go down. But there is no positive gamma down here now. It looks like most of that kind of wiped out on that last update. There was a little bit down here, but it looks like most of that dropped there. It would not not surprise me to see us get pinned around that 73.80 here. And also we can look up SPX on that gamma as well. So let's do this here. Maybe. Let's see. All right, here we go. So we're just sitting in kind of negative gamma right there. Obviously, this is for the entirety of SPX here. So you're seeing a call wall up at 7,500. We're probably not going to get hit 7,500 today. Just kind of a guess on that one. I'll take a really strong guess on that one. Same with that put wall. It's down there significantly. I mean, again, we're just kind of in the middle there. Yeah, I just wanted to kind of see how that looked there. All right, let's go do Google now here. So the Google 430 call for 529. These I'm gonna probably assume they're short with the way they're moving right now. 11 days out though, so some time. We'll go take a peek. We'll take a peek. Okay, let's see. I gotta go back. It's the only thing I hate about those names that kind of get a lot of volume on there. You don't always get to that right away. Alright, let's go down. I could type in the premium. I typically just like to get an idea of the entire tape here. Alright, so we should be coming up on it here soon. Was that 929.25? Oh, it should have been up here. Okay, here we go. Okay, I'm not crazy. Alright, so nice IV spike when it comes in here. Spot is filling up the ask here. Let's just kind of follow this up. So a little drop there on 10 contracts. You're a penny below the ask. We'll keep that in mind. Another 33 there. Again, penny below the ask. These are filling on the ask side though, but let's just keep kind of following this up. 38.26. 38.26. So IV's kind of dropping here at the end. That is the part here that kind of concerns me, I'd say, is the Google was going up here and that IV's technically dropping. I don't like seeing that. Then we got some bid side here at the end at the previous ask here with the IV kind of going up there. So it's odd to me here how you have about a 21 cent pop there in Google at the same timing there as the so 9/20/23. Yeah, it's all the same timing. So you get a 27-cent pop in Google and that IV doesn't rise at all. That's a little odd to me. That's what's kind of catching my eye in here. And then it kind of trails off to the bid there. What are these? How far are these out of the money? Let's go back here. 8% out of the money. It's hard to know, obviously, at face value. I just kind of with that IV drop and that price going up at the same time is what concerned me a little bit there. They're 8% out of the money with 11 days. Google can move, obviously. Um, I would want to double check that open interest tomorrow. So you had about 3,700 here. You got 567 there, so we're about 1,200 or so, followed by another 600, so 1,800, then another 500, so we're at like 2,400 or so. It's not that full size there. I would just want to double check just to make sure it's not sizing out and they're just taking the quick little losses. This is one I would want to double check that open interest on. I just didn't have the best feeling with it with that kind of IV at the end dropping as the price is going up 20 cents. I almost said 20%. Let's see what else we got on Google here, though. I want to see if there's anything interesting gamma wise here. So it does look like we're kind of coming into a call wall here. So call wall is about a 0.7% above us here. Put wall is 11% below us. So they're gonna sell into this call wall when we get up to that 400. Absolute gamma is 400 here, so we're pretty close to that right now. There is a lot of net gamma above that still. So I mean, when they sell into that though, there's still positive net gamma up here. It doesn't necessarily mean it's going to, tank all the way down here to that wall. They're just going to sell and take their profits essentially, since they're positioned up here. As you get closer to that positioning, they're going to take profits there. That call wall at 400 though, and there's still a lot of net gamma above. That is interesting, and that's your absolute gamma too. So it's your highest gamma point there. It wouldn't surprise me to see a little continuation because there's so much positive or a lot of call gamma up there, and it's all net gamma too on that side. Your expirations, yeah, you look at the expirations too, it's all net gamma on the call side of things here. I it's just kind of looking through the stuff here. Yeah, I mean, you might see a small little pullback, but again, it's only because they're coming into their call wall there. So I mean, there's just a lot kind of up there when you get past there. It didn't really show it on that chart, but yeah, I mean, you can see all that net gamma is up there. I mean, 450, 410. So if this call wall decreases here and that stays the same, that 410 would be the next call wall there. So that's interesting. Let me look at Goog here to see if there's anything on that side. So this one's at 400, so I mean, it's about $7 above. That's a little more breathing room there. Put wall is at 390, so a percent below. So what's Google? It's green today, isn't it? Yes. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, you've got support a percent down at least. Just kind of trying to look here. Yeah, that's the thing with Google and Google. I do like to kind of look at both. So you are sitting again right on that 395 with that call wall above here. This makes me feel a little better, kind of combining it with the actual Google contract there. I just didn't. The only thing I didn't like about that flow was just that kind of IV part of it. Otherwise, I mean, it all filled at the ask mostly, so it looked pretty good from that standpoint. Just the IV standpoint was my part I did not like. Let's just kind of look in the highest volume here for Goog, and I am seeing some puts here, which could potentially be closures because look at the 430 there. Looks like this is a closure here. They are closing out the short puts here, so this would technically be potentially a bullish signal here. They're closing out the short puts there. And yeah, they bought them back 1013 down at 192. Yeah, big buyback on there. So it looks like it's, ask side there, but they're truly closing out those puts. Let's look at these here. Oh, this is the one we looked at there, the 31. This one here. Oh, is there two? Am I crazy? These aren't multi-leg. Let's see. So 529 370 put, so 1013, 192. Then the 325. Yeah, oh, these are two different trades. Could be I mean, that's a really odd looking setup between two different trades that aren't, doesn't look like they're connected to each other at all, multi-leg wise. Yeah, maybe it is. Maybe it is. I don't know why it wasn't showing up there. So, okay. So there's your 315. So 325, and then there is that. Oh, no, it's not that. Oh, interesting. So, okay, there's just kind of a lot going on with these then. So bid side there, 110. Why is that one interesting? Why did that not show up as a big multi-leg? So it's only 4% multi-leg. Interesting. I would assume, I mean, it looks like both are being closed there on that Goog one. Yeah, I would say with the specific contract that you sent me there, that 529 430, I would just verify that open interest tomorrow. Just kind of keep in the back of your head that Ivy was kind of goofy on the one spot there. But the part I do kind of like about this, and I kind of want to pop this out here, you're not seeing heavy ask side put premiums there. So yes, we are seeing some bid side call action in here, followed by some upside call action there. If I was gonna take this, what I would do is, let's come down here. So looking at Google here, so those are 11 days out. I'd be very, very cautious. I mean, that put wall's really far down there, and you don't have a gamma flip till 377. So I mean, this isn't really in play. Knowing that I have the call wall at 400 there, and oops, 400 there, and you're pretty kind of close to it there. Maybe I'd look for a small run up to 400 there, just with the 11 days out there. 11 days. So I mean, there is some action on that for that 522. So they do kind of like that. So they are kind of adding gamma to those levels. Yeah, I kind of like those 11 days, even with that flow not 100% cooperating. Let's just do another quick here. Let's just see if we got anything else here. And obviously Nvidia earnings this week too, that is going to make a big impact on the market overall. But I'm just kind of looking at that face value for contracts here, just face value wise. And let me get rid of multi-leg. I mean, they're seeing calls. They're seeing calls. There's that. So a little deeper in the money one there. Your 529. Yeah, these are 3% of the money is not super deep where it would concern me there. 529 430 calls the one we've been looking at there. 522 420 call. Yeah, I mean, almost looks so you got 1900 there at open. I just kind of want to look at that previous. Yeah, it doesn't look like it's related. This one's just a little messy with kind of all that action there. My guess is maybe they got in there at 285. Could have averaged down, could have cut some there, but a lot of volume after the fact there, and you're seeing it kind of near the highs there before the drawdown there. I think this might be an in and out on the day here. That would be a interesting one to kind of come back and see. About 395 put. Yeah, this one again, just want to double check that open interest. You have 500 there, followed by 500 there. It is technically a gain of whatever on that 1180 up to that 12.11 there. I mean, that is, they double check the open interest because those candles are, I mean, it's a one contract difference. That's very similar sizing there to kind of, potential in and out there same day. Would double check that open interest. Some more calls here. Yeah, the calls all kind of made a quick move. It looks like or early in the day, and then they just kind of didn't there in this one. So again, 11 days out, 415. Let's see how this one looks. So okay, let's do this. Where's our big trade? What time did that start coming in? So right at open there. So 582 right at open. 35, go back a page. 35. So yeah, it's not the cleanest kind of context with that. Yeah, it's not the cleanest. I mean, just kind of looking at the timings here. So 37, then you got 51, then some 52s. I would probably assume these are all within about a 20-second time span, and it's the first trade on that chain. I'd probably assume they're related here, maybe even up to that 836. I'm just kind of looking at the size in there and just kind of thinking to myself, well, how many people are grabbing that size? It's a little murky here. I'm just kind of off. What I'm speculating here is seeing that IV increase here. Spot price would technically be increasing if, and that's just a big if, it's all related here. I would say I like that overall there. But the one that we looked at, the 430, I would say if I'm taking anything, I like that 430 call, just minus that IV. Other than that, yeah, that flow did not look bad at all there, and Google is actually holding up today compared to a bunch of other names. Oops, let's close this out. Yeah, I mean, call premium's kind of tickled off there a little bit, but you're still getting a lot of that positive net volume there, and your puts are just kind of, chopping along there. So yeah, that's a good, interesting one to kind of keep an eye on there. We'll just double check that open interest, keep it in the back of your mind about the about that IV kind of dropping. Oh, we popped again here. I thought we were going to end up kind of getting pinned around that 73.80. Hey, if we get up to 7,400 here, I will take a small put scalp here. I will do that if we get up there, and I'm just going to look for a very quick one there if we get up there. So, okay, there's our flip, 40.42. So, all right, well, and it's late to see it now because obviously we have the 10-minute updates, but here we are down here, and you don't have the actual visualization of it happening just because we don't have the updates there. Look at that big spike in that net call premium. Or not net call premium, the positive gamma at 73.90. This is something that would have caught my eye. Again, when they get that 1 minute update, it's going to be really nice because you'll be able to kind of see it growing in real time. Like, that's what would kind of catch my eye there. Just knowing that it's growing at that time there. But yeah, right now I'm eyeballing maybe that 7,400 for a quick pop down there. Maybe scalp at 7,400 up to 73.90. We'll see if we get there. We did get a little positive gamma up there at 74.05. Maybe if we can get to the high end of that 7,400, we'll take a little put scalpy poo. We'll see. We will see. Or it might just reject before then, and that's fine too. But that's the only thing that kind of sucks about only getting those 10-minute updates. You don't get to see that volume kind of expand that in real time. You have to wait for that update, but they are working on the 1 minute updates as of right now. So they've said soon, so that is a good sign there. But let's see, we're just $5 away here from a potential little scalpy poo there. We'll see what it does. We'll see. And I don't know if that was a news candle there either. Let's just see. I'm just kind of looking through here. Let's see. So I see that news now. Them kind of talking about, yeah, Trump says that he called off a U.S. military attack on Iran, which was scheduled for tomorrow, after learning, which is okay. Yeah, just kind of looking at everything that gets said there. Everything changes minute to minute, so they make it so tough here. All right, we're coming up to that 73.95. I'm interested, and it's kind of giving that kind of double top like you're talking about there, Lilu. There, I am going to take a very risky short here. I'm just going to play for a couple. I got a very tight stop on this one. If we get above this here, I'm going to cut immediately. If we get above that previous candle here, but I'm going to watch it. I'm going to watch it. I'm not going to actually put a stop on. I don't want my strike to get a wick out on that one. But yeah, let's just see if we can get a little move down here at this kind of double top-ish area and our negative gamma spot here. And we are, if we hold here, I'm gonna see it's rejecting. Like now I would have got wicked out if I would have actually put a stop on. All right, let's see. It's kind of dropping down a little bit. To answer your question, Bean, not much. You are not missing much today. It's a pretty slow kind of day, especially flow-wise. Pretty slow flow overall. And you can see why I didn't set my stop there, because I would have got wicked out there, and it looks like we're going to get a little move potentially down here. 7, okay, a little down, little green. I want to get out of here before MLC here in 3 minutes, though. So I'm either going to cut it if we break above, or I'm going to cut it when I see a little green here. And I need to lock my broker after this because I need to stop trading on the day. 255, 10. I'm taking it. I'm done. That's it. I'm done on the day for that. All right. And then I could care less if we come back down and test that VWAP. I just kind of wanted to show everybody that, how it's rejecting up at that 7,400-ish there. So we got a good little rejection there. And if it's a little earlier in the day, too, a little more comfortable holding something like that, not in the last 13 minutes, especially when the MLC is about to drop. We'll keep an eye on this and just see what happens here. I wonder if that actually made me negative on the day. I wonder if I got slippage. Oh, we're up a little bit on the day. $20. I turned that around from being down to like 200 for whale watch there. So that was a nice little thing. And this is the one that stopped me out on. Oh, there you go. There you go, Bean. I actually ended up stopping out on a selling the market here earlier, and yeah, that would have been an absolute money maker there, but I'm happy I got out there. And like that's why I kind of use those, those, like, it's smart to put an actual stop on your chart, like especially if you're not going to be buy it. But like if I would have set it there, I mean, I missed out on just a little green because of that teeny little wick. I would have got wicked out and I wouldn't have got out there. But I'm physically sitting here watching this as well too. Like if you're stepping away, you have to throw a stop on something like that. This thing just kind of wants to pump there. I wonder if it is going to test that 74.05. Yeah, if we test that 74.05 here, that could almost be another little quick potential scalp. We will get one more Periscope update. Getting the MLC here the last 10 minutes. There's a lot that goes on with pairing orders, so it's not the best time to trade there. Man, what a pop there, and off that negative gamma there. Quick little scalp, so that's all you need. Market tide, yeah, call premium's kind of slightly tickling back up there. I need to watch the Lord of the Rings movies. I haven't seen those since like middle school. Yeah, call premium's not really driving up with the move there. Put premium's kind of trying to curl down a little bit, but Yeah, I mean, oh geez, I don't have the patience to sit for 4 hours. Um, yeah, see, that's 7,400. Like if we're getting to the top of that candle almost right now, like that's that original kind of entry I'd want there. So see how it's kind of. Well, let me zoom in a little bit more. So it's acting as that kind of resistance here. So again, there's short puts and short calls. So I think we might end up being pinned here. We might pin here because you got calls and puts that are short here. I think it might pin in this area. I want to see what that update looks like in a couple minutes. All right, let's do a scanner search here. MU puts getting hit here weeklies. 7% out of the money. $15 a contract. We're going to do a little speed round here for 2 minutes. Let's see. Nice IV spike on these. IV rises, get a little drop here. And probably related, hard to know. A little pricey for some weeklies anyways. Let me pop up my scanner here. Let's look at our screener. Let's go in here. So light, that's one of the net premium gaps or gamma gap from a couple weeks ago. This thing has absolutely when did this come in? I need to look, otherwise it's gonna bother me. Net premium gap was light for valid 511. So let me just go find 511 on there. Yeah, that thing is just, I mean, up from 1063 down to 888. What a drop on that. Absolute drop on that. Looks like they're hammering puts on this still. MU, this is the one that we were just looking at here. So this is going to be one of the highest premium ones on the day as well. ASML, little too much action going on here. Very similar sized candles. I would verify that open interest. I would assume just with all those candles there that a good chunk of this should carry over though. CSX, some oil coming in here. 3% out of the money, 31 days. That is your reason for that call spike right there. So, oof, look at that. So, nice big IV spike here, and then you get an IV drop and a spot price drop. A little toss-uppy on that one there with that spot drop and that IV drop there. I don't know if I like that. Or these 3% out of the money, 31 days. Yeah, I mean, and oil's going to be very reliant on any big macro developments, especially with Iran and the U.S. right now. Some Google puts here. These are already up a little bit, and these were some of the closures here from a little bit ago. You can see that. Oops, make it a little easier to see. Open those puts or short puts there at 1013. Looks like they're buying them back here at 192. Poet calls. Poet being hit again today. This thing was down 16% when I looked at it earlier. 11-20-20 call here. Let's see. 350. They're not up too bad. Up about 10%. Let's just take a little gander in here. So little IV drop. Spot is filling at that. IV's so high on this name. So high on this name. I don't like the high IV names. There's just so much volatility around this. So another little spike here. I would assume, again, keyword assume, that it's probably an ad there. Let's just go down here. Look. So again, you get that nice IV spike when it comes in. Spots filling at the ask. Little drop there on 10 contracts. 35, 18. Yeah, that IV kind of drops, then it pops again here. Then little couple trails. I would make a very high assumption that these are related to that there, even though they're 7 seconds later. Can't prove it unless you're that whale, but I just kind of based off that sizing, matching what's going on within the tape, I would assume it's probably that trader there. These look like it could be a small little ad there. Again, would want to double check that open interest, but it's most of that, even if this drops off, most of this is still in there. Very long dated though, very long dated. Nvidia, we got earnings. I'm not even going to waste time looking at that. More Google puts here. So again, this is one of those other ones where I said double check that open interest. 500 there, 500 there. See how much that carries over. AMD puts. 10% out of, yeah, we can look at BA. Let's look at BA for you. Yeah, I will, if there is any requests specifically, I will front run those to the front there. So BA here, so a lot of the last 3 days getting a lot of ask side put premium as well today. A lot of call out flow too there, so that's what's sticking out to me right away there. Let's I want to see ask side puts what's coming in here. Let's see. So it doesn't look like it's hitting the highest volume. Let me look at Fridays here. Look at Fridays. Why is okay. I'll do a little digging in here for you. Let's see. So BA, we're going to look for at least 50% ask side. We want that volume greater than the OI. So I'm seeing a lot of kind of calls coming in here. 267, these are slightly green. Boeing does, okay, how about these 618, 220, 222 and a half puts here? Oh, would want to double check that open interest, double 100 hits there, and that is big multi-leg. How about the 210? Yeah, a little mixed in there. Let's go back to Friday, see if we got anything in there. How about the 11-day 240s these, so 529, 240 puts, 1867, trading at 1988 right now. They are 9% in the money. Only thing I don't like about in the money is if they exercise the contracts, you will not know until the next day. It's not a typical transaction, so it will not show up in that. Yeah, we got about 3 minutes left, 4 minutes left, but hey, better late than never. That's all that matters. And then how about that 212? Let me go. I think that's the one we just looked at, the 212. No, this one's just a little messy on that one. Let's go back one more day because there was another day of premium there. So a lot of kind of longer dated puts. These ones look like they're multi-leg though. So a lot of ask side puts. Yeah, it looks like probably taking some profit off there and or rolling contracts out. Let's just see if we can see what we see in here. So 400, yeah, it looks like they're rolling out they're closing the longer dated ones and they're rolling them to a shorter dated one possibly. I tend to stay away from the multi-leg stuff for the most part. Let's look at our gamma profile on it. So gamma profile right now, so acceleration, so we got 2.1% above here. Where is our absolute gamma at 250? So that absolute gamma is significantly up here, so that could act as a potential magnet there. Our call wall isn't until 250 either, so it's saying it's a distant ceiling. It's less immediate impact today. A lot of that acceleration is kind of below. Let's take a better look at it versus this way here. So our spot price, it's trading more up on that call wall. There's a lot of negative net gamma on these strikes in here. It's almost kind of a 50-50 split here, where you got a lot of net gamma on the calls up here, especially around that call wall, and then a lot of net gamma on the puts down here. And then that put wall's down at 100. I don't think Boeing's going to drop down to 100. I'm looking at expirations here. Yeah, there's some net gamma. I mean, your highest looks to be that 1218. There's just not a ton overall in here. And let me look at... Nope, yep, I want this one. Yeah, I mean, a lot of the positive gamma has kind of dropped off a little bit there, so I would be potentially cautious there, especially if you're longing. But I do like seeing if you're potentially short. Let's go back here to the overview. I like seeing the 3 days of heavy ask side put premium coming in, and then the last 3 days lots of bid side call premium coming in, even back here. price has kind of dropped, so it wouldn't surprise me to potentially see a bounce here just after that big drop. So on there, and Boeing doesn't have earnings until August there. Yeah, I would yeah, I mean, and like your call premiums aren't even flinching with this run up here. Yeah, I would. There's for my highest volume contracts today, there's not really anything super interesting, I'd say. Let's pop this back to the premium. Yeah, these are all multi-leg up there. Let me get rid of that junk. Let's get rid of that junk. Yeah, I mean, I almost want to say it wants to favor call. I mean, this is just kind of a face value look here, but they're slamming calls, especially on that 522 expiration. That weekly's getting really hit here, and I mean, it doesn't look like a lot of these have fully. I mean, this is messy. This is not really directional there. No, we just looked at that one. 217.5. This one kind of just came in there 313. Not a huge whale though, just little volume spikes there. I would double check that open interest. 717, 230. A lot of this has had a lot of open interest for a while. Yeah, Boeing's kind of a messy one. I mean, just kind of looking at that chart too on Boeing, that is not the prettiest chart either. Let's just look at that chart. Oh no, I'm on this charting, not option charting. Let's just look in here. So you can see where, I mean, all your kind of gamma. I'm going to switch this to the weekly just to get a better view. I mean, you can see where all that positive gamma is, and you can see how it's acting as, resistance. It will pull it up, but then it will act as resistance here. I mean, it's just all, I mean, there's negative and positive. It's such an ugly chart, too. But it seems like, if you got up to kind of that 246 there, it's had an issue kind of getting over that level there, and you get up to that kind of 240-ish there. I mean, that's big positive gamma call wall there. What was that call wall on this thing again? Was it 240, 250? So yeah, I mean, you're seeing where it rejects more so there, and even that 240 has a little higher call wall there too. You can kind of see how it just glowing a little lighter there, and your red's just your acceleration. So I mean, it can accelerate down, no doubt about that. I would just be kind of cautious with where we are there. That put wall's not really close to kind of act as support there. Oh, we ended there. I didn't even realize it was 3 o'clock there. Look at that. I was just blabbing on and on there. So you got a little extended breakdown there on Boeing. Yeah, I would just be a little cautious on that one there. Just maybe see if some better flow comes in there. The premiums were telling me bearish there. Gamma profile was kind of telling me up a little bit, so just kind of a little mixed sentiment on that one. The last thing here, and then I'll let you guys go. Yeah, the one contract that we looked at there. Where was it? Maybe that 4-day out 217.5. That could be a quick weekly scalp on something, maybe, possibly. Have to see. But all right, you guys, thank you for hanging out. Didn't realize it was already market close, but I will catch you all tomorrow, and you have a fantastic evening. Thanks, everyone.